What's up, YouTube? So the Miami Dolphins have made their cuts for the our first 53-man roster. I mean, this is gonna change a lot, but this is on Dolphins Twitter. Um, I mean, one move is absolutely gonna have to be addressed. I'll go over the 53-man roster, and then I'll go into who we cut, who we put on IR, all those types of things. So we did keep two quarterbacks like I wanted them to, and it is the two I wanted. Ideally, having three quarterbacks is nice, but there was just so many deep position groups on this team that we just couldn't keep Mike White. It just kind of is what it is. I would probably put a quarterback on the practice squad. Mike White isn't going to be that guy because he's going to sign somewhere. But I would put someone on the practice squad just to kind of have him in the quarterback room and ready. But beyond that, I just don't see how we can carry another one on the active roster. So yeah, that's two there. We kept four running backs: Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Jalen Wright, and then Alec Ingold as our fullback. Which is exactly what I expected at running back. Good so far. Wide receiver, unfortunately, we're just plagued by injuries. Braxton Berrios, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington right now are our only four receivers on the 53-man roster. Odell and River Craycraft are both going on the physically unable to perform list, so we're really, really hurting. I assume we'll probably end up signing somebody because four receivers is crazy. But possibly not, because, I mean, eventually we're going to get Odell and Craycraft back, but we'll see. We also let go of Eric Izukanma, who was in a walking boot, and at this point, he just can't stay healthy. At this point, it was time to move on from him. Great player when he can play, which is almost never. So, it is what it is. But at tight end, we got Jonnu Smith, Durham Smythe, Julian Hill, and Tanner Connor. Tanner Connor is kind of a wide receiver / tight end. So maybe he kind of plays a little bit of both for us at the beginning of the season. Devon Achane can also play a little bit of wide receiver. So maybe we kind of do that stuff. Run the ball heavy, throw it to Jonnu Smith more. I mean, we'll see what we're going to do there. But I assume we'll probably have to sign another receiver. I would let go of Tanner Connor. He had a good preseason, but I just don't see the need for four tight ends. I just don't. I think another receiver would be more important. Offensive line, they ended up keeping one more than I wanted, but it makes sense. Teron Armstead, Aaron Brewer, Lester Cotton, Jack Driscoll, Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson, Robert Jones, Kendall Lamb, Andrew Mayer, and Patrick Paul. I didn't have us keeping Andrew Mayer, but it makes sense. He's another center. And Aaron Brewer, we don't know when he's going to be able to play. So, I mean, it makes sense. I suppose. But at that point, I almost would have just put him on the physically unable to perform list and just kept 9. Because, I mean, Liam Eichenberg and Jack Driscoll can also play center, so I don't really see why you need Andrew Meyer. I just don't. Yeah. And, I don't hate the idea of keeping 10 offensive linemen, but again, 4 receivers is bad. And look at this. We don't have a long snapper on the team. We let go of Blake Ferguson, so right now we don't have a long snapper. So we're obviously going to have to make at least one change. We're going to have to cut somebody to get a long snapper on this team. So we'll have to see how that goes. And also, now the kicking unit is going to have to get chemistry again. Jake Bailey, Jason Sanders, and whoever our long snapper will be. So that's kind of tough. But interior D-line, they kept one more than I wanted, but that's kind of okay. Calais Campbell, of course. Zach Sealer, of course. Benito Jones I had. Deshaun Han I had. I didn't have us keeping Brandon Peely, even though he was someone I wanted to keep. It's just, again, you got to make cuts somewhere. And he was a guy that I didn't really want to keep. But it is what it is there. We also kept a lot of DBs. We kept 11. Interesting. But we'll get to that in a minute. So now I'll talk about edge rusher, which we're really beat up at. Bradley Chubb and Cameron Good are going to be both starting the season off on the physically unable to perform list, which is unfortunate. But we have Jalen Phillips. He's supposed to be able to play week 1. We'll see. We'll see what kind of snaps he gets. We got Emmanuel Ogbah, though. Chop Robinson, Muhammad Kamara, and Quentin Bell as our 5 edge rushers. Quentin Bell can also give you snaps at linebacker. And then at straight-up linebacker, we got Jordan Brooks, David Long, Duke Riley, Channing Tindall, and Anthony Walker. So we kept 5 interior D linemen, 5 edge rushers, and 5 linebackers. It's understandable. I think 11 DBs is a little crazy. I don't hate the corners. We did let go of Nick Needham, which does kind of hurt. I do love Nick Needham, but it does make sense. He hasn't really been able to stay healthy the last few years, and we had a lot of young talent at corner in this offseason, so, I mean, it makes sense. Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller, Cater Kohu, those are our starters. That makes sense. Syrian Neal's special teams ace. Ethan Bonner and Storm Duck are 2 young, undrafted corners. Ethan Bonner obviously was here last year. But they had fantastic camps. So that makes sense. If you're not going to keep Nick Needham, then this would be the 6 I would run with. They had 1 extra safety than I had, though. Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, obviously our starters. Elijah Campbell, love it. I only would have kept Marcus May or Patrick McMorris, though. I would not have kept both of them. I would have just kept one or the other. Preferably McMorris, just because he's a rookie. But again, this is all going to change. Like I said, we don't have a long snapper, so we're at least going to have to make a couple of moves. But now for the people we actually cut. We let go of edge rusher David Anee, wide receiver Daquan Burton, safety Jordan Colbert, defensive tackle Robert Cooper, wide receiver Eric Izukama, which hurts. But, I mean, like I said, he just could not stay healthy. We had to make that decision. Wide receiver Mike Harley Jr., offensive lineman Chasen Hines. Also, I kind of like Mike Harley. He had no shot of making this team. We didn't really use him right in preseason either. But, whatever. Running back Xander Horvath. Linebacker Daquan Jackson. Wide receiver Jaden Jenke. Cornerback Isaiah Johnson, which also kind of hurts. He had a pretty good camp as well in preseason. Really lanky, undrafted rookie corner. Some of these guys might end up on the practice squad, too. I feel like Isaiah Johnson will probably get signed, though. Offensive lineman Matthew Jones, who was actually doing okay in preseason, too. Jason Mater, I can't remember if that's how you pronounce it. But, yeah, he was definitely the odd man out at corner. Tackle, Bayron Matos, can't stand him. Just as a football player. He has no idea how to play offensive line right now. He's just so raw that I'm not really willing to have the experiment. Wide receiver Kyrick McCowan, defensive tackle Leonard Payne, safety Mark Perry, tight end Hayden Rucci. Not many of these were really shocking. I mean, Eric Izukama, I wasn't sure what they were going to do, but I mean, he's in a walking boot again. Like, I don't know what else we would do. We also let go of running back Chris Brooks, which is unfortunate. That one really hurts. Love him. But like I said, the 4 running backs we got ahead of him, he just couldn't compete. Ryan Hayes, offensive lineman, and wide receiver Braylon Sanders. I assume Braylon Sanders will probably end up back on the practice squad. He's been there for 2 years. Linebacker Curtis Bolton. Wouldn't mind him being on the practice squad, too. I actually liked him in preseason. He reads his keys pretty well. Not super athletic, but still. Long snapper Blake Ferguson. That one definitely surprised me, just because, we don't have a long snapper now. And he's pretty good at his job. Can be irritating on social media a little bit, but, it is what it is. Defensive tackle Neville Gallimore. Not surprised there. Defensive tackle Jonathan Harris. Isaiah Mack. Running back Anthony McFarland. And cornerback Nick Needham. Again, that's another one that really hurts. But it makes sense. We had a lot of young talent. The only thing that makes it kind of weird is that, after Cater Kohu, there's not a whole lot of nickel depth. Syrian Neal technically is a nickel, but he's more of a special teams guy. But whatever. Because most of our corners are, outside guys. Well, actually, I guess that's not true, because Kendall Fuller at his best, I mean, he pretty much is a nickel. Like, that's where he's at his best. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. And also, some of the injuries, we had to put, like I said, Odell Beckham, Bradley Chubb, and Cameron Good. Oh, and Isaiah Wynn on the physically unable to perform list, which means that they will be missing at least 4 games, I believe, which is unfortunate. Isaiah Wynn being out is probably another reason why we decided to keep 10 offensive linemen. I'll be interested to see what we do with the guard spots. Robert Jones will probably have 1, and I guess, I assume he'll probably start at left guard. I don't know what we're going to do at right. I guess we'll find out. Could be Lester Cotton, could be Liam. Probably Liam, I would imagine. But we'll see. River Craycraft, Wyatt Ray, and Cam Smith are all on injured reserve, which is really unfortunate. Craycraft and Cam Smith are designated for return at some point, so that's good. But either way, that's definitely going to hurt. Especially River Craycraft, because we're already without Odell Beckham. Jalen Waddle is an injury-prone player. Braxton Berrios is a little bit too. Man. Really in a tough spot. I mean, and the thing is, too, Tanner Connor is kind of our 4th tight end, 5th wide receiver, but he's injury-prone as hell, too. So, I don't know. I don't know what we do with that. But, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts. Like I said, this is going to get changed as well. I mean, like I said, we don't have a long snapper, so that's going to have to be a move we make. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.